What is up, my Forced Conversation peeps, and welcome to a special episode. As always, I'm your host, Mike, and as you can see, we are without my normal co-host, Andre, but today is a monumental day in our household. A line has been crossed in the sand. For years, my wife has successfully avoided the tractor beam of Star Wars culture, but this past week, her defense shields finally came down.
I was kind of forced.
I'd say you were lovingly guided. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, my amazing, beautiful, and patient wife Carla has officially sat through Star Wars episodes 1, 2, and 3. Today we go over her experience with the prequel trilogy and see if she's finally becoming a fan. So, babe, you've seen the pod racing, you've endured the galactic trade dispute politics, you've met some pretty interesting characters, and you've witnessed the tragic downfall of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I made it through, so I guess let's talk about them.
All right. So before we dive into them, though, we need to know your absolute baseline. Before we hit play on The Phantom Menace, what did you actually know about Star Wars?
Well, honestly, not a whole lot. My parents never really put it on, so it was like never really on my radar. By the time I was choosing my own shows to watch, I really was into watching like Batman cartoon after school. And over the summers, I pretty much just stuck to like MTV and played Nintendo a lot. So really, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know a lot about Star Wars, so I know you know that, but
Right.
Anyways, once we started watching movies together, though, then it was just kind of hard to talk about them because it was so confusing. I didn't know what was being said, or you would say a word,
iridocyclitis.
and I would just like start to spiral a little bit. Like, are you talking about a planet or a person or a thing or whatever? Who knows? And then,
Right.
So it's kind of like a foreign language. I know I've said that before. It just seems hard because I've never really been into studying. So it seems like it would be a lot of work, but it's just a lot of vocabulary for a movie night, a date night, you know? So at this point, if it's not obvious what it is, I just assume it's a planet and move on.
So I think your biggest experience then would probably be when Episode 7 came out, the first one with Rey, The Force Awakens. We took the kids to see it like 5 or 6 times at the theaters because
5 or 6 times? No way.
yes.
Okay, well,
We went
I'm
at
not
least
sure I
5
even
times.
remember one.
But the kids loved it. Yeah,
It
absolutely.
was
loved
good.
it.
I
Yeah.
liked it a lot. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you've got a lot of catching up to do.
I guess.
All right, so before we dive into them, I think that's a good basis for everybody to realize like where you started off from. I guess to kick off this deep dive, we're gonna start with the lightning round. What I want you to do is I want your raw, unfiltered, surface level reaction to the movies. We'll go one by one. Are you ready?
Okay. Well, I took some notes.
Write that down, write that down!
So if I need to look at them, I don't know if they're going to help me with whatever you ask me, but maybe,
Okay.
and we'll go from there. But before we get to the movies,
Okay.
I did bring a peace offering.
A peace offering.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make a
We got
snack.
more?
Well, who knows? We'll see how it goes. But
Okay, fair.
I may not speak Star Wars, but I do know how to feed you, and I do know that you like good snacks.
That's
so,
true. That is very true.
here's what I made. This has been a surprise. I can't wait for the unveiling.
No
They're
way.
Lightsabers.
They're
Okay.
light-
But
She
there's
made
also
lightsaber pretzels.
there's also the Darth Maul, right?
Darth Maul, yeah. That's freaking awesome.
and then there's regular red.
Regular red, nice.
lightsabers. But,
that is crazy.
but I had to do the Darth Maul ones because
That is crazy.
I thought that was pretty
Just,
cool.
I'm gonna hold it up like this just so you can see it. That's lightsabers. That's cool.
This one up. This one is the last one.
Darth Maul one is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That
So,
is awesome.
so if during this whole thing I don't know what you're talking about and you confuse me with your questions, I will probably just take a bite of the pretzel and you'll have to answer for me or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But okay,
enough.
I think
Okay.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
So first up, we have Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Okay, so look, during the scene where they're arguing about the Trade Federation blocking the ships, I think that's what, or the shipping, I think
Shipping
that's
routes,
what they were doing. My mild ADD kicked in hard. I don't remember exactly what law they passed or what all was discussed, or I'm not sure really what was going on, but I did map out a shopping list for the week. So, shout out to the Queen for giving me that time to realize that we were out of milk. I seriously, like, I don't know, a squirrel kind of moment.
Right. Okay.
But I do remember a good part was a scene that like really stuck out to me was the pod races or pod race or whatever you call that. I mean, it was pretty exciting to see a young kid that was in this race, and especially knowing that his freedom could be given to him if he won. So that was kind of exciting. But remember, I grew up on MTV, so my brain is wired for like 3-minute music videos, not this whole long drawn out thing about
a 20-minute
what a
podcast.
kid knows about. I don't even know, like his racer thing. I don't know. I feel like it was going on and on about something, and I don't know. I zoned out, I guess. Sorry, but then things started exploding, and I think I was reeled back in, and it was exciting, and I'm really glad that he won. And it was just sad that like his mom wasn't included in the freedom of
Yeah.
him winning.
True.
But a bad part that I have to tell you about. Okay, there are 3 things, and I wrote these down because I did not want to read. But 3 things that were just absolutely ridiculous, I thought, about this movie. Okay?
Okay.
So number 3 is when they were like going underwater, you know, it really bothers me in movies where people go underwater and they make it seem like they can see clearly underwater. You know, it really bothers me because I'm like, when I open my eyes underwater, I cannot see clearly. It's all fuzzy, and you know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's just something that has always bothered me about that.
So they had the
happening.
rebreathers. They had the little breathing devices, but they didn't have
They didn't
any.
have any goggles,
any
or
goggles or
anything.
anything.
And I understand like this sea creature that can see underwater, but people, and they are humans, right? Like,
Humanoid characters. Yeah.
okay. So anyways, that's like one thing that I think is a little bit ridiculous. Number 2, Jar Jar Binks. Oh my gosh. How wooed. It's like almost as annoying as my dad thought the Olsen twins were when I was growing up. He always said like how annoying they were, right?
Full House.
Yeah, for sure. And but why did they let him talk so much? Like how, I mean, I know you've mentioned him over the years. You've said things and I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, you think he's annoying, but
I think you're getting into like
Goodness
a
gracious.
25-year-long debate between
okay.
between like older Star Wars fans and younger Star Wars fans. So like the epitome would be like myself and
So
Andre.
people like him?
So like myself and Andre. I
Okay.
am not a Jar Jar fan. I don't like him. Could have done without him. Don't think he's a good character. Andre loves Jar Jar Binks.
What? Andre.
So- It
Wait,
seems-
what does he love about him? He's so
They
weird
think
and
he's
he
funny
talks
as- yeah.
so. Oh, okay.
It seems like the younger generation, because they didn't experience Star Wars the way that maybe I experienced Star Wars.
Okay.
They see Jar Jar Binks and they feel like he's this comedic relief character. I look at him like he's just this absolutely annoying character.
Yeah.
So I get it. I think there's that's the dichotomy, right? Like you have fans that are huge fans of the original that don't like him, and you have fans that like grew up with prequel and the Clone Wars and stuff like that, because he's
Okay.
all throughout the Clone Wars animated show, and like people just
And he talks
absolutely
like
love
that
it.
the entire
throughout whole
time.
thing,
Oh my
yes.
gosh.
I mean, his species
How
talks a lot. Whoa, his species talks a lot like that, but he's just the worst of them for sure.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Jar Jar's your number
Okay,
two.
so he's number 2. And then the number 1 most ridiculous thing about the movie, the Jedi rat tail. It was so gross.
The
And
Padawan
seeing
tail.
it whip around was just yuck. Like, just gross. That's my top 3 bad things about this movie.
Okay,
Not bad, ridiculous.
things that you thought were ridiculous.
They stood out.
Do you have any good things that stood out?
I said the good scene was about the pod.
Oh yeah.
the
You did say
pod
you went
race.
into the pod race pretty much. Yes,
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
and yeah.
So next question would be, what are your thoughts on Darth Maul?
Oh, well, see, look at how creepy he looks. I mean, I don't know. I did have some notes written about Darth Maul because, first of all, the double-sided laser was
Lightsaber.
sweet. Well, it's still a laser. It's something that. Okay,
You could say laser
the
sword, but
double-sided
lightsaber.
lightsaber was sweet, which
Yes.
is why I made this because I just thought it was pretty cool, and he really knew how to use it. I mean, he was whipping it around and whatever, and I mean, obviously, it was interesting. It was good. I did like that big fight scene, but he looked pretty cool. I thought. I mean, with his glowing eyes and all the horns, he's like King Koopa in a red version. And you know that I've always loved red and black. Okay,
Yep.
those have always been my 2 favorite colors. So
Which are predominantly like Sith colors. Like if
Oh.
you think about all the Sith, like Darth Vader, black suit, red lightsaber.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
look at his eyes. He just looks.
the eyes are definitely Sith eyes. I mean, for sure.
It's,
I think I picked a pretty good picture to enunciate.
They all have those eyes.
I think a lot of them will have like discolored eyes because of the fact that like the hatred and stuff like that they have inside them, like it changes
Okay.
them, right?
Okay.
So, and you kind of see that later on in some of the shows and stuff like that.
I'm
too.
sorry. I guess I didn't notice. Does he have gold teeth?
Now they're like black and like
Ew.
like a different color, mostly black. Like they I don't know if they're decaying or whatever, but
But like the horns on his head and stuff. Wait, can you see the horns when he's got the hood up?
not really. The hood goes over the horn, so you can't really see him.
Interesting. I don't know. Just an interesting character. He was obviously really good at all his ninja moves and stuff, but he really didn't say much, right? Like,
I think he had 2 lines in the movie that were earlier on before like the Duel of the Fates when he fought Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
okay,
So earlier in the movie, he kind of said something about to his master. He said, "At last we will reveal ourselves." You know what I mean? I think he said that, and he said another thing when his master went to send him to look for the Jedi. He said that wherever they went, it wasn't a big area, so it wouldn't take him that long to find them. I think that was his only 2 lines, and I know that's not word for word. I'm not trying to say them verbatim, but like that was his 2 lines. They were very short lines, and it wasn't even the guy that was playing Maul. It was somebody else voicing him while the guy that played him was doing the acting.
oh, weird.
So it's not his voice, because the guy that did the character, his name is Ray Park. I forget the guy that did the voice in this movie. He's been in a lot of stuff. I can picture his face. I just can't think of his name. He was in like the John Wick movies.
I'm sure somebody's telling you right
now.
now.
Oh, probably.
Who it is.
Probably.
But okay, so how come he couldn't just jump on the ship after Liam Neeson or whatever?
Qui-Gon, after
Yeah,
Qui-Gon
why
jumped on?
couldn't he just kind of like sat there and watched him go away?
I think because
Was he that far away?
I think it's because in that situation, then you're jumping to somebody who has the high ground, which comes into play in later movies.
okay.
Because then you're jumping towards them defenseless, and you're giving them complete control of the situation. Right?
Okay.
And so I think like if you'd have done that, he probably would have died there. Qui-Gon was good. Right?
Okay.
But yeah, no. So Darth Maul, I thought was a very cool character.
Yeah. And, it's weird, because when I think about what I think I know about Star Wars, I feel like he is a very familiar looking face. Like, I know I've seen him over the years, but if he was in this movie for like 5 seconds, I mean, seriously, it wasn't a whole lot. He
we
was
watched.
like chopped in half real quick.
I know we watched
Well,
the Solo movie.
Chopped? What do you call that? It's not
Sliced.
chopped, sliced. Okay.
I know we watched the Solo movie. He's in the very ending of that. He's also in like a lot of the animated stuff and everything like that, which I know you haven't seen, but
Yeah.
he's been in a lot of stuff since this movie, for sure.
So he comes back to life.
We maybe can get into that in a later point.
Okay. Okay. All right. Moving on.
All right, so, Jar Jar Binks, we already kind of went over.
Yeah.
I forgot to take this slide
Ew.
out, but yeah. Super annoying character for me. Completely loved and adored by other people. Yeah, probably the most divisive character in Star
I
Wars.
don't know. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. So, all right.
Like, yeah. Enough.
On to movie number 2, which is Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Okay, well, I see he no longer has the rat tail, so that's good.
Obi-Wan doesn't.
Hopefully it didn't take... Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, it's hidden. I don't see it in that picture.
Yes.
But
It kind of
hopefully-
transferred from Obi-Wan to Anakin. Did he give him his or did he grow his own?
Ew. I don't know. I don't want to think about
Okay.
it really
No,
ever
go ahead.
again.
Get
So,
into your breakdown.
okay, so one thing I noticed right away in episode 2, this entire galaxy runs the same rules as college football. You know what I mean? No? Okay. The good guys are blue and the bad guys are red. It's like Michigan versus Ohio State, but with laser swords, okay? That is what I noticed first.
I love it.
It really spoke loudly to me. I just kept seeing it every time. But either way, as soon as characters pull out a red lightsaber, my brain doesn't even care about what's going on. It just think, oh, red, Ohio State, bad guy. Easy enough.
Fair enough. I mean,
Right?
it makes total sense to me. 100% good.
Okay, so other people see it too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just our household, but yeah.
Well, and if you even think about it, even though we're not really state fans, green is also good, right? So either way, green and blue are good, red, bad.
They're just not as good as blue.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, fair
Anyways, right? Okay, so something that was good or like my favorite part, well, I don't think it was my favorite part, but a good part that I can think of is when Yoda goes from like walking with a cane, all super old and
Slow.
slow, and then he's like jumping around and bouncing off the walls, and I mean, it was pretty funny. It was kind of like he was glitching out or something. I don't know. It was just weird to see. It was funny, but interesting.
I remember seeing that the first time in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Like, completely unexpected. Didn't know what was going to happen. You start hearing the click,
He's like,
like for the cane coming in, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Yoda's here. And then he like drops the cane, takes off his coat, and like starts flipping around everywhere. People lost it. People just lost it in the theater.
Yeah?
Like it was so hype
that's
because it was just like
weird.
you didn't see that version
How
of
old
Yoda
is
in
he?
anything.
Like 700 or something?
Yeah, I don't know his exact age. I'm sure Andre can chime in right here if he wants to add a little blurb about how old Yoda was in episode 2. I'd have to look it up, but either way, he's still pretty old. He's definitely old.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, but sad but beautiful part, I thought, was when Anakin goes to see his mom. And you know, he like keeps getting visions or whatever, like seeing her, and then how did he know where she was? Like he found her somehow. I don't really remember.
So he went back to Tatooine where they were from originally.
Okay, and he found her.
And he found Watto, which was
Like
the
in a cave or
owner,
something.
And Watto said that he sold her to Lars.
Okay.
He went to Lars and met Lars.
Okay, I
and Lars
remember
said,
that.
I married her, but the Tusken Raiders came and took her.
Okay.
So then he
How
went
did
to
you
Trek.
know where they were?
I think he just went looking because they showed a clip. He went to the Jawas and asked the Jawas, which are the little creatures in the brown coats you can only see
were
their
in
eyes.
In
Not the Ewoks.
Oh,
the Jawas.
no, the ones that were in the Mandalorian movie just now, recently,
No,
the little guys.
No. Those are the Inzellans, the little furry
See,
ones.
all of these words, I don't know.
The Jawas were creatures that were just in black cloaks. They were really
The
small.
ones that work with the big ship
Yes,
in the
they were
desert.
Yes.
Okay.
So he went up to them and was asking them. They pointed in a direction. So
Okay.
he basically was getting tidbits from whoever he could find till he finally found where they were.
Okay. Well. Anyways. Okay.
Yes.
So when he goes and sees his mom, and she's like suffering and being tortured, but then she finally sees him, and she's able to like let go, and you can see this like relief in her face, right? Like she's able to let go, and she doesn't have to fight anymore, and she can just die.
Right.
I mean, she was obviously holding on for something, and it was to see him and like know that he was okay. And actually, I feel a little like teary. Like it was really cute.
Yeah.
And but just to be able to say goodbye and be at peace. But anyways, I thought that was sad, but really nice, kind of. But anyways, and then if I think about a part that is like I'm really not sure how to feel about it, is the whole Padme and Anakin relationship. It just seems like awkward watching the two of them, and like, why would she be okay with him killing so much? She just I don't know. It just seems weird. Like
It's
the whole
rough
thing.
because I think we look at killing from like our aspect, which it's not like a regular occurrence. But if you look at like their lives since they met each other, like it's wars, it's good guys versus bad guys, it's people dying all around them. You know what I
That
mean?
makes sense.
Like I'm not saying that means people dying is a light thing, but I think in their aspect they look at it like, you're a good guy, they were bad guys, they were definitely doing bad stuff, they were basically killing, torturing, doing who knows what to your mom, like you took care of like yeah, Anakin's
Okay.
mom,
Yeah. No. I get it.
but
yeah.
like you know what I mean. So I think, while I don't know if killing the women and children too is necessarily completely justifiable,
Right, like a whole village, right? Even though they did bad things to his mom and like tortured his mom, but just like killing I don't think all of the people that he killed had something to do with torturing his mom,
for
right?
sure. But you can
So-
hear the remorse in his voice, like he was upset that he did it, but I think in the moment he couldn't stop himself from doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you're right. She kind of was like, he said like, oh, the women and children too, and she had a look on her face like, what? And then she was like, it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Okay. So, what did you think of the origin of Boba Fett and the death of Jango Fett in the movie?
Definitely interesting. I mean, you see this like little kid, and I think of him as this ultimate warrior, right? I mean, I don't know a whole lot about him, but I think when he's an adult, whatever. But then, not only do you have this little kid, but then there's like a bazillion of the same kid, but like starting to grow up, right? Like the
They
same.
grow twice as fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
So weird, and so it's just.
So it was kind of
Weird.
confusing, like trying to explain like these all
It's a
these
strange
clones,
concept.
all these
yes.
clones are Jango Fett, and Boba is technically Jango Fett. Like they're all Jango
Right.
Fett, they're clones of Jango Fett, but Boba is just created without the advanced aging, and he doesn't have any of the programming that the clones have. He was genetically created and given to Boba as a baby.
So weird.
And then Boba, given to Jango as a baby. And then Jango basically raises Boba as his son. My question is, this Boba that we're seeing right here,
Mm-hmm.
does he know that he's a clone, or is Jango basically telling him, nah, you're my son?
Oh no, he has no idea because he doesn't look like what the other ones look like, right? Because the other ones
he's
are
not
older.
aging like them.
Yeah, he has no idea yet, right?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I guess I never really thought about that. Like, did he know he was a clone? I imagine at some point he does, because I
When
think
he gets older.
I think even in Ahsoka or the Mandalorian show, like
As a kid, that's a little bit too much information to
maybe, yeah,
be given as a child. Like he's like what, 10 or something, maybe 12.
if that, yeah, something like that.
But yeah, interesting, weird. I don't
Think about
know.
his dad dying and him watching his dad die.
Oh yeah, that was sad. But why him? Why did he get to be the one that they made all
Because
these?
at this point in time, he was one of the best bounty hunters in the entire galaxy. Like, he was very strategic, he was very methodical, he could find people, he could take care of things, he could take orders. Like, if they said, hey, we want this person dead, that person was dead, right? Like, so
all these other clones do that
the clones
too.
got
they're all
a lot
bounty
of his
hunters?
traits. No,
Oh,
they're not bounty hunters, but they got a lot of his. Well, I say no, but I'd have to check it. There might have been some that after the Clone Wars became bounty hunters. I might be confused with. I know there were like what's her name, massage
Is it-
ventress and stuff like that became a bounty hunter for a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know Boba Fett did become a bounty hunter, and he was one of the.
Isn't Boba like the little balls in the drink? Isn't it? It is, right?
I mean, yeah, technically,
Okay. Sorry,
it's okay.
squirrel moment, I guess. Moving on,
okay.
moving on.
So, finally, movie number 3. Nope, that's not movie number 3. Let's go back to the first one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Movie number 3, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Okay. What are my thoughts?
Yep.
Well, looking at this picture, why don't we go straight into the fight scene in the volcanic planet filled with lava and jumping around like crazy? It just felt like for a second we were gonna see a big like game over sign come across the screen because both of them were
Like one
gonna
of them
fall
jumped
into the
into the
lava.
lava.
Yeah.
And then you have to start over.
Yeah, because I mean, it was just kind of crazy how they were jumping like from log to log to log or to droid or I don't know what they were jumping on, but they were just like jumping and still fighting and you know, next thing you know, like Anakin's leg there, and he has no arms and no legs, and he's still trying to fight. Like what the heck?
Crawl to him or whatever.
It was just. I mean, I don't know. It was kind of crazy. I definitely thought it was strange that he was fighting with a blue lightsaber, not red. You know, like when does that change? When does it change if you turn to bad?
There's a whole process to it. Like the lightsaber doesn't just change on its own. You have to like basically open the lightsaber up and access the crystal. Like you have to physically touch the crystal. And through your anger, hatred, all that stuff, you basically channel your force power into what they call, I think it's basically technically called bleeding the crystal.
Okay.
And when you bleed the crystal absorbs that fear, hatred, and all that dark side stuff and turns red, basically like the crystal bleeds red. So, at this point in time, Anakin is becoming a Sith, right? Like
Okay.
he's going down that line. He is now known as Darth Vader. He's accepted Sidious as his master, all that stuff, right? So he's gone down that path, but he has not. He hasn't had time to like bleed his crystal because all of this stuff is happening immediately.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's still.
oh yeah, it was weird.
Now that's the in-universe reason. The real reason is because the lightsaber that Obi-Wan gives Luke in Episode 4 is Anakin's blue lightsaber.
Okay.
So you can't give Luke Anakin's blue lightsaber in the next movie if it turned red.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
and that's the same lightsaber that Rey has in The Force Awakens. That's Anakin's lightsaber, the blue lightsaber.
I can't wait to watch The Force Awakens again. Because I know I liked that one.
Yes, I know you did too, for sure.
Okay.
For
But
sure.
yeah, I don't remember seeing it 5 times. in
So
the theater.
Anakin's lightsaber has been around through like every trilogy series. That
Okay.
blue lightsaber has been around for a long time. It's that lightsaber right there.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of people have. Well, I don't want to say a lot of people. Anakin, Luke, and Rey have all used that lightsaber predominantly, right? So
Okay.
and it's always been
Interesting.
one. So that would be the movie reason why they never changed it. But the in-universe reason is because he never got the chance to do that process.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
anything else about Episode 3?
Well, let's see. My notes say, why did the Chancellor have blue handcuffs keeping him in the chair? I don't know if you remember that. But I was like, okay, was it just to make him look weak? Do you remember that scene? He's like
when-
sitting there like, I can't get up. And then Anakin comes in and he's just like, psh, or whatever. And
Feel the full
he
power
could
of
remove
the
them.
dark side.
It was just, it just, I don't know. It just seemed
Like
a
he was
little
just
ridiculous.
I kind of feel like that was another one of his manipulations to show Anakin. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like look at what these powerful
Right,
Jedi are doing
right.
to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, that guy was nuts. But
He was very good at what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how these dumb kids didn't realize what he was like brainwashing them to think, right? Dumb kids, Padme, Anakin. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
They
Because he
just-
definitely would say stuff to, oh, well, no, you should just go away while we take care of this.
Yeah.
Because we're only concerned
Yeah.
for your safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, he did
maybe-
a number on those two.
Yeah, maybe some of that was him using the dark side to help, convince him. Because the Jedi would
he
use the
had a
Jedi
plan.
mind trick.
Yeah, I can
Where
see.
they'd be like, there are no droids here, and they'd be like, oh, I
right.
don't see any droids.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe he was manipulating them both normally and with the Force, like making them see things, because I think Palpatine, he's the one that gave Anakin the vision of Padme dying
Okay.
to get him to want to learn
Really?
more.
So he
Yes.
can get in your head like
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't like that.
Yep. All right. Anything else about episode 3 before I throw out some questions for you?
Why don't you shoot? Wait. How do you make a planet? The Death Star is a planet, right? Isn't that the Death
It's
Star?
just a
in
metal
that picture?
structure. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh.
like it's not a planet. But it's a base the size of a moon. Like it's
crazy.
big. So they just build it from scratch, and they build it with the like I think it's like some kind of giant kyber crystal, like the same thing that powers the lightsabers.
Okay.
And it's a bigger one that they use to end up shooting the beam out of it that ends up blowing up an entire planet in episode 4.
Okay.
We'll see that later though.
Spoiler. Jeez.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So, at what precise moment in watching these movies did you realize Anakin was officially past the point of no return?
Well, how about when he killed all those kids? That
The
was
younglings.
rough. I mean, I know you do crazy things for love, but that was
That's
a little bit.
The Padme's not involved in that.
Well,
It's
but
not like Palpatine or Sidious was like, "Hey, in order to save your wife, you got to kill all these little kids."
he wasn't. I thought
he
he
didn't
was
say
saying that.
He just said he said first thing. He said, "What you need to do is you need to go to the Jedi Temple and kill the Jedi."
Okay.
So he went to the Jedi Temple, killed a bunch of Jedi, and then also saw Padawans who were going to be Jedi and killed all them too.
Padawans, Padme. What? How did they come up with these things? Are they related?
I think Padawan might be like a Native American term or something like that. That might be a meaning behind that.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, that was
So
definitely
you think
messed
the
up.
young
I mean,
one, okay.
that and wait, which one came first, the younglings or the whole village? The whole village.
The whole village.
Yeah, I mean that was.
But he
messed
showed
up.
remorse for
Yeah.
that one. Like
Okay. Okay,
that
but,
one was
yeah.
because his mom actually died.
But then just like going to kill a bunch of kids is horrible, and they were like defenseless, right? Like they didn't have anything.
It's not like they stood up
Yeah.
with lightsabers. They actually
Yeah.
stood up and they were like, Master
what are you
Anakin,
doing
what are
here?
we gonna
Do you want a
do?
hug?
And he's like,
And then he's like,
yeah, that's when people started calling his lightsaber like the Youngling Killer 5000.
That's sad. That's really
It is
sad.
messed up,
Wow.
for sure.
Okay.
All right. So next question: did the initial age gap between Anakin and Padme in Episode 1 make their love story in Episode 2 and 3 more awkward? I think you kind of touched on this a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It just seems so weird. Like she definitely seemed a lot older
Sure.
than him. What?
I skipped this. I didn't change it. to
Oh,
this
okay.
side. But there's
Ooh,
the,
look at his glowing eyes.
that was when he was on oh my gosh, the lava planet. Why am I drawing?
So-
Mustafar, and he was like killing the Trade Federation people. Then the next one was when he was going into the Jedi Temple, and then that's when he killed the younglings.
So, their eyes, that the Sith or whatever, like if you turn bad, then your eyes are always that glowing yellow, red color, or what?
I don't know. Like I have to think back. I don't think Count Dooku's were like that, but maybe Count Dooku wasn't as consumed
he
with
looked
hatred and
totally
anger as much as
normal.
Anakin was.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways,
Okay.
this is the Anakin and Padme one. So that's Episode 1, Episode 2, and then the bottom left is Episode 3.
I mean, I know in
There's a-
that
there's a
first
red
episode we were. Oh, I know. I just like. Ugh. I know that we even like stopped the movie and like looked it up, like what was the age difference, and it definitely seems weird. I mean, as they are older, you can't tell that there's an age gap, but
It was,
I don't know.
It was more
It's just
prevalent in the
weird.
first one.
It
Yeah,
just
for sure.
seemed awkward, but she. And then, yeah, I don't know. Their whole relationship was so weird with her being like, "Oh, I love you," or "No, we can't do this." "Oh, wait, let's do this," or I don't know. It was just very back and forth. Typical, right?
Yeah, I can see that for sure. I mean, it was definitely like, and I think we'll get into that a little bit too, but like the whole, like, no, you can't do this. No, we can't be like this. No,
Let me play hard to get,
Yeah,
but then,
and then-
change my mind, and yeah, I don't know. Kind of annoying, but whatever.
Do you think Padme was willfully blind to Anakin's red flags, or was she just a victim of like the circumstances?
I mean, I just think she was kind of acting like a dumb girl sometimes. I mean, I hate to say that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Do you think Padme was kind of influenced by Palpatine?
I mean,
Like maybe
hope so.
some of the
Yeah.
things that he was saying made her not think that Anakin's red flags were as big a deal.
I mean, I guess, but wow. How could you not see like what she's I don't know. How could you not see like what a crazy like murderer he is
Yeah.
and just be like, "Oh, it's okay. You're just hurting." Like, seriously? I would not have said that to you if you anyways.
All right. Order 66. How hard did the Order 66 when it happened in the movies? How hard did that betrayal hit you when the clone troopers instantly turned on the Jedi and started killing them?
I mean, it was really sad to watch that. I mean, it just like how they just like turned on them. There was no hesitation. They were just like told 66 and they were like psh, and killing them. I mean,
Obi-Wan
it was
got lucky
bad.
because they shot at him, but they didn't kill him, right? Like he just fell into the water from a good distance. But like the rest of the Jedi, like it just was like
They were like, "Wait,
you could
why
I-
you're
yeah,
coming with me?"
yes.
And they look back and they're like, "Why aren't you with me?" And, then they're
all of a
like
sudden
shooting
start
at them.
Yeah. That was rough.
Horrible.
It was
It
rough.
was devastating. Like that was really sad. It really was.
I agree. All right. If you had to rank the 3 movies from best to worst, what is your order and why?
Yes. I think I would say like 1 and 3 are maybe tied. And then 2. So 1 and 3, I remember episode 1, I remember thinking like right when we finished watching it, I was like, oh, that was pretty good. Like very interesting. I was like just paying attention the whole time, for the most part, you know, and I just thought it was good.
It kept
I don't
your
know.
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. And then episode 3 was really good too, but it just got so like dark and messed up.
Episode 3 was probably the realest. Like there was a lot of like real emotions that you had to deal with in watching that movie. Like not even just the Anakin and Padme thing, but like the Anakin and Obi-Wan thing. Like you spent the ending of episode 1 with Obi-Wan and Anakin, all of episode 2 and all of episode 3, like seeing this relationship and the brotherhood between the two of them, and that just all of that just went away in the blink of an eye, right?
Okay.
Like Anakin was basically like, if you're not with me, you're against me.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's like, what the heck, dude? Like, we've known each other how long now? And that's how you're gonna, you know? So I think that was kind of hard.
Well, and then episode 2, I mean, I think that would be last for sure because I fell asleep at least a few times. I think I was kind of going in and out, and I'm like, brr.
I think we made it about halfway through, and then I had to stop it because I think we were
Halfway?
falling asleep. Then we had to go back, like 20 minutes.
This
half
happens
hour.
sometimes, guys, when we watch the movies that Mike chooses. I mean, okay, sometimes it just happens because I'm tired.
Sometimes
but,
it happens when you pick movies too.
okay, I don't know. Either way, what's your favorite?
Oh, out of these ones?
Yeah.
Out of these 3, it would be episode 3 would be my number 1 out of these. Episode 1 would be second place, and then episode 2 definitely the last place out of them
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
So like you're tied with 3 and 1. I have a little bit more of a gap between 3 and 1, but I have a bigger gap between 1 and 2.
Well, and you've probably seen all of these like more than once, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I might have seen them years ago and just do not recall what. Yeah. But I don't know. But
All right. Why did I go that way? Okay, so if you had to pick one character from these 3 movies, the prequel movies, as your favorite, who would it be and why?
I guess I'd have to go with like Obi-Wan, right? He's like the MVP. He's in all 3, right?
Yep.
He, I don't know. He's probably the one that I've seen the most over my life in memes or whatever. I mean, he just seems pretty solid, and
I'm gonna tell you, he's my favorite. He's my favorite Jedi, hands down, easily. And the reason why is, so we know Anakin's the chosen one, right?
yeah,
That whole fight scene between Anakin and Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan holds his own the entire time.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Yeah, well, he chopped off all or
Jumping,
sliced off all his arms and
but
everything.
doing the same
Extremities.
jumps, jumping from different things, jumping over the lava, landing on platforms. Like, he's going toe-to-toe with Anakin. He went toe-to-toe with General Grievous. He went toe-to-toe with Count Dooku, right? Like, he went toe-to-toe with Maul, sliced Maul in half. Like, legit, I feel like Obi-Wan is the greatest Jedi. I think Anakin is the chosen one, and if he wouldn't have let himself get sidetracked, he probably would have been way greater than Obi-Wan could have ever dreamt of. But I think in these movies, Obi-Wan he's amazing.
And Anakin deserved to get his butt kicked because of all that talking back he did. Oh my gosh, that I would have. Oof, that was bad.
Here's the rough one. Least favorite character.
I mean, besides the whole Jar Jar.
If Jar Jar is your
Stupidness,
least favorite
I mean,
character, you could say, do you have a secondary or one that's tied, or is it Jar Jar? Jar Jar takes the cake no matter what.
Is this multiple choice? Is it time for a pretzel? I don't know. I can't think of anybody else right now. All I can picture is that
Jar Jar.
tongue hanging out. Show that picture again.
That's payback.
It's fine.
All right.
I don't know. How about you? Do you have a
No,
least
Jar Jar.
favorite?
Jar
Okay.
Jar, easily. Way easily. Andres is C-3PO.
Why?
I think it's not so much the character. I think it's
He
the,
doesn't like the robot talk.
I think it's more so the guy that plays C-3PO. I think he doesn't like him because he's like super into himself or whatever. Like, Andre has a whole reason why he doesn't like the guy that plays C-3PO, but it basically makes it so he doesn't like C-3PO.
Oh, come on.
right.
Andre, come on now.
So now we're gonna play a little game.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be a quiz game. Phase 1, we're gonna call it Who Said It? Anakin Skywalker or a Toxic X.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
There's gonna be a series of questions, and you need to figure out who said it.
Okay.
Now, there might be a trick question in here. So
Okay.
you might have to try and remember.
Can I use my notes?
You can try to. Yeah, sure. All right. So first question. I don't think the system works. Anakin or Toxic X?
Anakin? Because it doesn't. See, okay.
Anakin from Attack of the Clones. He was
was like-
talking about the galactic politics to Padme when they were doing the picnic thing. He was
Okay.
basically saying like he doesn't think all the senators and stuff are actually doing anything.
Okay.
All right. Question number 2. You're letting your past ruin what we have now.
I mean, that definitely sounds like. Oh, I was gonna say sounds like Anakin, but I don't know. Is this? Uh.
You have 50%.
Toxic X.
Nailed it.
It took a minute.
X. Yeah. But it does sound like something.
Yeah,
Anakin
I was
could've
like,
said,
wait,
right?
maybe, but how
All
much
right.
does he know about her past?
Question 3. You are so beautiful, but you've suffered so much.
Oh my gosh. These are not that easy.
I guess you have to think. There's one word in this that you can look at and say, did Padme?
suffer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think she suffered? Before episode 3, when he was trying to like.
Okay.
with her and stuff.
Toxic X.
Yes. That is. I'd probably give you a
Love
little bit too
bombing
many,
at
too many
its
hints on that.
finest.
All right. Question 4. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
What do you think? It'd have to be Anakin.
Anakin, it is.
I mean, what Toxic X is gonna mention
I
Jedi?
love how the thing said that this was said while he was literally covered in volcanic ash on Mustafar. All right, 5. You're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow.
Well, I thought she said that. Padme, right?
Trick.
Trick.
question.
I got it.
You did.
Yay.
Okay. She said that right before Anakin. forced
Yeah,
her.
I was like,
I
she
can't-
said that.
I can't believe he's been trying to talk about keeping her alive this whole, and then he force chokes her. Crazy.
Dirty, dirty dog. That's
Alright.
why you don't listen when he's not a boyfriend to fix. He is. You let him go.
Yeah.
He tells you about killing people and stuff like that. You let him go.
All right.
Ugh.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
I mean, that's for sure Anakin, right?
Yep. They said that to Obi-Wan before they started fighting. When Obi-Wan was like, only a Sith deals in the absolutes.
Yeah. Actually, I wrote that down in my notes.
Yeah. That whole sequence right there when Anakin and Obi-Wan are going back and forth. That's one of my favorite like dialogue, like back and forth dialogues in all of Star Wars.
Okay.
That whole thing when he's like, you're not like, this isn't what you're supposed to be. Stuff like just awesome. I love it. We did on the guest podcast we had with Jacob, we did a favorite quotes one. And two of them from this little like whole setup thing before they started fighting were like two of my like favorite quotes. I just loved them.
Okay.
I think it's a quotes.
Okay.
All right, 7. I did it because I love you. Why can't you see that?
Anakin? Oh, it sounds like
No,
something he would
Anakin
say.
and Jason
Yeah,
and Anakin.
see,
Yeah.
that definitely seems like it's just a quote I could have missed, but
All right. I'm not going to lose you the way I lost my mother. I'm becoming more powerful than any Jedi has ever dreamed of.
Anakin.
I think that one was kind of an easy one, 'cause it
Obvious.
says all that.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
All right. So that is the end of phase 1. Phase 2 is wait. Who was that again?
Oh no. Okay.
This one's a little bit different. Yeah, you might need your notes for this one.
Okay.
Okay. Question number 1. What is the name of the red and black demon-looking guy with the double-bladed lightsaber who gets sliced in half in episode 1?
Oh, is it Vader? No, it's Darth Maul. I do know that one. I remember that. Yay.
All right. In episode 2, Obi-Wan goes to a planet where everyone is super tall and has no feelings, and they are secretly building a massive army. What are they making?
The clones, right? The
Yep.
clones? Okay.
The clones, but for a bonus point, can you tell me what planet they were on?
Maybe? Wait, what
Episode 2.
Let's see. Do I have a timer? Camino?
Camino it is. On the planet Camino.
Yay.
All right. Question 3.
Good
What
note
is the
taking.
name of the multi-armed cyborg alien general who coughs constantly and steals lightsabers like they are shiny Pokemon cards?
Oh my gosh. I think
So he's a general. General what?
in what episode? 3?
3 he's for sure in.
I think I wrote something down about that. Cyber guy. General Grievous.
General Grievous. Yep.
Is that how you say it? Grievous?
Grievous.
Yay.
Good job. All right.
Yay.
Phase 3. Did you catch it? So there's going to be one question.
Okay.
See if you caught who this was. You ready? In episode 3, Palpatine tells Anakin a creepy bedtime story at the Opera House about a Sith Lord who was so powerful he could save people from dying, but he was murdered in his sleep by his apprentice. What was that Sith Lord's name?
I for sure wrote this down. Wait. Shoot, I know I wrote this down. This was in 3?
Yep.
That? No. Darth Plagueis. Plagueis?
Darth Plagueis.
The Wise.
Darth Plagueis the Wise. Yes. Now, here's a bonus.
Oh boy. What do I get for this?
Pretzel. What was the importance of this story? Did you catch what the importance behind the story was? So Plagueis is dead, and he said he was killed by his apprentice. Who was his apprentice?
The guy with 3 names.
Darth Sidious.
He does.
Darth Sidious.
And then I'll tell you the other names. Hold on. I break out my notes. I probably should know this by now. The Supreme Chancellor,
Supreme Chancellor Palpatine.
Lord Sidious, and Senator Palpatine.
Well, so he started off as
Right?
Senator Palpatine.
Okay.
Chief Palpatine. Then he became the leader of the Senate.
Darth Sidious.
Darth
Lord
Sidious was
Sidious.
his-
What's
was
the
his-
difference between Darth and Lord?
Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
good job. So that's it. That's our episode for this week. It was fun having you on.
Thanks for having me.
Getting to talk to you about Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, and I think a lot of it too, it wasn't like talking about a lot of like crazy things and vocabulary and stuff like that you were unfamiliar with. I think also being able to watch the movies and then
take my
shortly after
notes.
take your notes, but shortly after take time to like go through it and talk about it makes it a little bit easier. So I honestly, I think we should do this again at some point with the original trilogy. Actually, it'll probably have to be, watch Solo, just so you can see how that plays out. I don't know if we need to do something like this on Solo, but I think we should watch Rogue One
Okay.
immediately after start 4, 5, and 6. Because Rogue One literally butts into the very beginning of episode 4. So it's like you watch Rogue One, then 4.
Wait, how many more of these are there?
I mean, well, just the main series, we'll do Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
But there's also like the spin-off movies, like, well, we just watched Mandalorian and Grogu. We'll watch Solo, Rogue One. So yeah, we'll go through. We don't have to watch the Clone Wars animated thing because I know you're not a big animated fan, so that's absolutely okay.
Unless it's Batman.
Unless
Of course.
All right. I think that's it for today. So
What about all your Spotify, Facebook?
Yeah. I'm going to get into that right now. So, as always, everyone, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, check out some of our other content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also find us on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Discord. Oh, and we do have a guild in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for anybody that watches, that plays that game. It is called Forced Conversations, so if you want to join up and do some guild stuff with us, awesome. If not, no big deal. But have a great day, and we will see you next week.